Oh my god. So I just got off the phone with my dad. I was struggling to find something to talk about, and I was like, and my dad, he called like right when I was about to hit film. He was like, cause I'm improvising, right? I'm always improvising. So my dad calls and I'm like, hey, what's up? And he's like, hey, and then I'm like telling him that I am about to make a YouTube video, and he's like, and I was like, but I don't know what I'm gonna talk about. And then he was like, you should talk about something that other people would be interested in. And I was like, what's the fun in that? I love mundane conversation, but for real though, I was like, okay. And then he gave me a few ideas. My favorite one was Alabama, because I'm from Alabama originally, and I moved to Miami. I live in Miami. I'm a Miami girl. And it's so funny. My dad, he was telling me like, you should talk about your experience and, you know, something about Alabama and Miami. And I was like, all right, I should do it like a compare and contrast, or, you know, something like that, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll do that. I think it's fun. So I was like, I'm just gonna do a compare and contrast, or, you know, talk about my experiences and whatever, okay? So leading with that, I'd like to say Miami is like a trillion times better than anywhere I've lived, Alabama. So it's really funny, all right? It's so weird to me too, because people, you know, I moved here, right? And I'm from like the boondocks in Alabama, like I'm telling you. So it was so crazy because like I'm moving to this like huge city, and it's like, you know, it's not really a culture shock, but it could have been. I mean, technically, but I don't think it was like, I don't understand culture shock genuinely, but it was crazy. Everybody's speaking Spanish, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Spanish. This was when I first moved. All right, I've lived here for like 4 years, so I feel a little more like Spanish. But like before, I was like, everybody speaks Spanish here. Oh. But it's not crazy though. I learned the Spanish. It's cool. But the thing is, in Miami, and I'm talking to people who've lived here their whole life, right? And it's so crazy because like, we're in Miami. Of all the cities, of all the everywheres, Miami is the place to be these days. And it's so crazy because like, you hear it in just rap. You hear where you're from in just a random song. And you know what? I recently watched Dexter, the show. And I'm looking, all right, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm literally from, like, I live there. And it was just so crazy. And I was like, that is literally like where I'm from. And I saw it in the first episode. I was like, I literally live down the street from where they were filming. Like, it was like, I started screaming, I was hooting and hollering. Like, my poor boyfriend, he was telling me, like, I kept rewinding it because I was like, everybody has to look, because it's down the street, like, because it was also a really long time ago, so it looked really different. I'm sure it was like more than 4 years old, and I was like, whoa. It was just so crazy because I'm like, I'm literally from here, and they're literally filming in this exact area, basically where I live. And I'm like, it was so crazy. And I'm like, oh my god, Dexter's from Miami. I'm from Miami. And it was like, it was mind-blowing. So that's like a really big thing. It's like, you hear it in rap songs and media, Miami, or, you know, whatever. And it's like, you don't hear nothing about meow or, you know, wherever, right? I'm from Huntsville. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe like country music, but like outside of country music, you never hear like cities in Alabama or, you know, Texas or whatever. And it's like, it's so like mind-blowing, you know, like I feel like so amazed. And also really crazy too, because like people that have lived here their whole lives, they're like, yeah, We live in Miami. It's whatever. There's people that want out, and I'm like, what? How could you ever want to leave the most beautiful like city in the U.S.? In my opinion, but I'm like, oh my god, like this is just, it's crazy. What else? I've learned like a lot of Spanish like throughout my time here. Like I always say un poquito, like a little bit, right? I love that word. It is such a cutesy little word, and I'm like un poquito, like I don't know, a little bit. And then there's other words that I say, but that's the one I say the most. I say un poquito like a lot. I love saying that. But also it is very helpful, like when you just want to say a little bit, you know? It's like, it just sounds better than a little bit, you know? It's like, un poquito. And I learned another word from my boyfriend. He has a dog, a little guy. His name is Negrito. You can probably see him on my Instagram at some point, or, you know, whatever. And they always say, pobrecito, pobrecito, or in the white ways, pobrecito. But like, it's just, I think that is like the cutest word ever. It's like poor little baby in Spanish. Like, you know, they say it and they're like, poor baby, you know? They say pobrecito. I'm like, oh, it's so, I love it. It makes, it's so cute. I love it. No, but I don't know. It's just like, it's crazy. I'm like, I love it here. I really enjoy the palm trees. I enjoy, what else do I enjoy? I enjoy the sunsets. The sunsets are very beautiful. They're like, it's like really insane. I'm like, it's so beautiful here. And, you know, I live comfortably. I'm not gonna lie. But today I was looking for assisted living in Key West because, you know, I'm ready to move out. I just, you know, it's just like, ugh, you know, I don't like living with my parents. So I'm just like, okay, I want to move out. And my mom, she told me today, she was like, this was like an hour ago. She was telling me about Key West. I could apply for assisted living. And I was like, what? I can do that? And we were looking it up. It turns out you can make like 80,000, I think, a year. And like, you can live in assisted living. And it was like that's a lot of money a year. And they're trying to say that you're apparently poor if you make 80,000. Like, that's like, it's top tier poor people apparently, but you know, it's enough to be like assisted. And I'm like, you know, it's just really interesting because I don't know, it's just like crazy. Like, I could make 80,000 a year, and I could make 5 figures, and have assisted living. Like, what? It's crazy. Well, I don't know if 5 figures is a lot. I just started my second job. So I'm like, it was my first job. And then I left the first job. I didn't leave. It was like a temporary job. And, you know, I still visit my coworkers. I was really good. I was a great employee, according to my manager. But I started my new job, second job, whatever you want to call it, right? And I was like talking. I was talking to my mom, and I'm like, oh my god, like, I make, I think, 20 some a year, because, you know, I'm paid by the hour. And it's just like, so yeah, I can do assisted living. Like, that's something, you know, that is fine, right? But like, I'm going on 10 minutes, guys. I am so sorry, but I don't know, it just feels nice. Follow me on What Is My Fry on Instagram, and then also see you guys around. Thank you for 22 views in like 19 hours. I really super appreciate it. It means the world to me. Peace out.